Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the freaking pod. I'm so excited for today's episode because I went to see the Barbie movie last night and it like solidified the fact that I was gonna make an episode about this. I already thought I was gonna make an episode about this, but the Barbie movie last night I was like, you know what? Yes, this is what I need to talk about today. So today we are talking about comparing yourself to other people. Comparison, insecurities, etc. That is the topic for today. And I feel like this is important to talk about because specifically, it's always important to talk about, but specifically now because I have been going through this period where I've been feeling so much harder and so much more insecure, so much harder. Oh man, today is going to be one of those days, huh? I have been so much harder on myself and feeling so much more insecure lately. Wow, guys, I cannot talk today. Okay, today we're going to be talking about comparing yourself to other people, insecurities, how it affects you, how to get over it, like everything that I know about it, because I honestly have been feeling a lot more insecure lately, and I've been a lot more critical of myself lately. And so I feel like this is a good time to like talk about it on the pod, just so if anyone else is going through it out there, like I want to share what I've been doing to fix it and like how it's been and like what you can do about it. And also just the general topic of comparison and being insecure and where it comes from and everything, because we'll get into it. But anyway, little life update first of all, as we always do. I'm so excited. I'm back home right now in New Jersey, but I just booked my next LA trip. So I will be going back to LA in like a week, and I'm so freaking excited, you guys. I feel like now is the time where I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable being far away from home, and I'm just really excited to be back in LA. And I feel like this time around I have more solid friendships and people to go back to, whereas before when I was living in LA, I felt so like scared to go back because I didn't feel like I had like a home base there, if that makes sense. But now I'm finally feeling like I'm settling in a little bit. I've lived in LA a total of like 6 months. So I've made some friends, thank God. But yeah, I'm excited to go back. And that's what I'm doing. But also I have a little trip planned before LA, which is kind of a detour. And I'm going to be going to Florida, which should be interesting. And I'll update you guys how that goes. But I've just been trying to plan as many random spontaneous trips as I possibly can, because something on my vision board for this year was traveling. So now I'm kind of in this era where I'm like, why not? Every time someone's like, come visit me, or like every time I have an opportunity to travel, I take it. Last week I went to LA super last minute. I don't know if I told you guys about this already, but there was an event for Duncan, so I just went to LA, like booked the flight on a Saturday and flew in on like the next day or something, or I booked on a Friday, flew in on a Saturday, and I was just kind of in this like, oh my gosh, what is my life? You know what I mean? And I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm trying to take as many traveling trips as I can, and I'm trying to just do everything for the plot, honestly. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, why wouldn't I just do things for the plot and see where they go, even if they're dumb decisions? Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at in life. Also, another thing about my life update is I kind of want to highlight my hair again. I kind of want to bring it blonder because it's getting kind of dark, honestly, and I'm not really used to it, but I kind of like it dark. That's my natural hair color, but I don't know if I want to keep it dark or go lighter again. We'll see. I might dye it next week. That's everything on my... Oh, also, I've been going to the gym, guys. I'm going to the gym, and I feel like I kind of have a muscle. If you're watching the video version, I'm flexing for you right now. I kind of have muscle in my arms now, which I've never had in my entire life, which makes me feel so good. But yeah, okay, now I'm done. Now that's all my life updates. I'm going to get into talking about the topic for today. So, I wanted to talk about growing up as a girl and how freaking hard that is, and why we all like end up having like these deep insecurities and like being super hard on ourselves. When you grow up as a girl, you are constantly surrounded by images and statements of how you should be. And I feel like with girls, there's this like standard of perfection that guys just don't really have growing up. Like I feel like when you're a girl, you grow up and you're told how to be to please other people from the day that you're like a young girl. Like, you are immediately told all of these things that you need to do to be likable, to be acceptable in society. Like, I don't think guys get this talk as much as girls do. Girls, when you grow up and you're a young girl and you're just in life, no one just lets you be. Like, I feel like there's so many things about like etiquette and how you look and how you act that girls just have to go through in order to be accepted and in order to be like okay for society. And on top of that, you have people telling you how to act. But on top of that, you have all, like, when I was growing up, it was like magazines and everything. Like, I don't know, there was like magazines and TV and everything that would show you that there was like one body type that you should be. There was like one look that you should have to be like perfect. Even in movies, it was like one type of person that was unattainable for most people to be, but that's what we were like grown up given, was this like image shoved down our throats that we have to be like to be liked and accepted. And also on top of that, beauty companies needing to make money, so they had to make insecurities in girls. They had to be like, you have dark circles, that's not good, that is ugly, cover it up with our new concealer. Like, there were so many things thrown at us from like a young age to be pretty, to be perfect, to act perfect. And that's honestly where so many insecurities come from. And on top of that, now we have social media. So not only were you seeing this in like magazines and movies as a kid, now you see it on the daily on your phone, of things showing you what the perfect life would be, what the perfect body would be, what the perfect face would be, how you need to act, what the cool girl would do. Like, there are just so many things being thrown at us constantly that make us feel like we have to change and make us feel like we're not good as we are and make us feel like we're constantly a work in progress. And that's where I feel like girls just feel like they're not enough. Like, it's just a constant battle with yourself and your mind. Growing up, I feel like your mind gets molded into constantly critiquing yourself because your loved ones, people on TV, people, like, everything around you is telling you that you're not good enough. And then eventually, when you're a certain age, your mind is just the thing that takes over and tells you that you're not good enough. So it's pretty crazy that that's how we grow up. But I think that's literally why girls just have like this voice in their head telling them that they're not good enough all the time. And we have to deal with these insecurities constantly. And we're constantly being the meanest person to ourselves. Even if other people aren't thinking of us that way, we are thinking of us that way. And we are being like, I don't like myself. I can constantly be better. I can be in better shape. I can work on my personality more. I can be less embarrassing. I can be less cringy. I can be prettier. It's always something. And it's always a voice in your head saying that you're not good enough. And so that is one part of insecurities. And then on top of that, it's the comparison to other girls. It's the constant comparison of what do other girls have that you don't. And because we also live in a society where girls are constantly like pitted against each other and in the media and everything. So without even realizing it, I feel like we just compare ourselves to other girls and think, what do they have that I don't? And it creates very toxic mindsets of thinking that you're not good enough when you are. I grew up extremely insecure. When I was like middle school age, I just started to be extremely hard on myself because I would get bullied and people would tell me that I was weird, that I was just the worst things in the world. Tell me that I look weird, tell me that I acted weird, tell me that I sounded weird. And so I grew up having like insane insecurities. And I mean, I think that's good to a certain extent because it makes you kind of like, I feel like the people who had the most insecurities growing up now have the best personalities. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's so true. Like the people who didn't feel enough when you were in like middle school and like were told that you were like weird now are like the coolest people. I don't know how the science works. I always felt like I wasn't enough growing up, and I have kind of squashed that mindset in the past few years. I've worked really hard to kind of fix my confidence and tell myself things and work on affirmations and tell myself that I don't have to be like anybody else, and like my path doesn't have to be anyone else's path. My timeline is different than everyone else's, but I still am hard on myself. I can do everything that I'm told to work on my confidence and to be a confident girl and still be freaking hard on myself. It's impossible to constantly feel on top of the world, to constantly feel confident, to constantly feel hot. Nobody does. And that's like the number one thing that I think we need to realize, because there's social media now. And so now you can see people who look like they have it together every single day of their lives. And that is just the fakest thing that I have ever seen. Nobody has it all together all the time. Even people that you look up to on the internet do not have it all together all the time. Even the people that seem like they have their life figured out, they're going to all these events and they're successful and they're like, even those people have mental breakdowns, don't know what they're doing with their life, reevaluate what they're doing with their life. You just don't see that part of them. So it's hard now because you can create this image of perfection on the internet, and people think that there are these perfect people with perfect lives from the internet and social media, and it's just not true. You're comparing yourself to someone when you have the whole picture of yourself. You see your mental breakdowns, you see your anxiety and your depression, and you see the insecurities, and you see your bad days and your good days, and you're comparing that to just a piece of someone else's story, the piece that they want you to see. That's what you're comparing yourself to. And that's why if you keep looking at other people's lives through a lens of like social media, you will never, ever be happy, because they are choosing what they show you. People choose what they show to the world on social media. They choose what they post. Meanwhile, you're seeing your whole story. You don't get to hide any parts of you to yourself. You see every single part of you. You see the building blocks. You see the work in progress. And you're comparing it to someone else's final product that they polished and filtered for social media. Of course, you're never going to be happy. Oh, I need like a 3-second break. Ow. The thing is that you need to realize is you don't know what's going on in someone else's life. When you're sitting there on your phone comparing yourself to somebody else, you don't know what they're going through. And chances are you have something in your life, something about you that person would love to have about themselves. Like you might have the best sense of humor in the world, and that person's like, dang, I wish I was funnier. Do you know what I mean? You need to realize that there is no reason in comparing yourself to other people, because everybody has their strengths. Everybody has things that you don't, and you have things that other people don't. And so there's no accurate way that you can measure what is better about them and what is better about you. You just need to realize that you need to put value in yourself. You need to pick out the things about yourself that are valuable, that you think other people would like want about you, because there are undoubtedly things that people see in you that they want in themselves. And you do the same thing. You look at other people and you wish you had qualities that they had. You wish you had the looks or the personality or whatever it is that they have. Meanwhile, there's other people looking at you the exact same way, and it's a constant cycle. So if we just learn to put the value in ourselves and see what other people would want to see in us, like that's how you feel better. That's how you feel better. You can't compare yourself. Comparison will always leave you feeling empty. Comparison will always leave you feeling like you're not enough. But when you decide to focus tunnel vision on you and say, what do I have to offer? What do I have? And when you're fully yourself and fully confident and you know what you have to offer, that's what's going to make you feel better and less insecure about yourself. Because the truth is, you don't know what's going on in anyone else's lives. And sitting there thinking that you want someone else's life when you have no idea what the full pile of their problems is so pointless. I heard a quote once that was like, if you put all of your problems into a pile and everyone else put their problems into a pile and you looked around at everyone else's pile, you would take back your own pile. And that is such a mindset shift, because it's like, yeah, you don't know what everyone else is going through. And if you did, you'd probably choose your own life. So just keep that in mind. Okay. I think that really changed how I thought about things, because I was like, you're right. I would never probably take someone else's entire pile of problems. I don't know what other people are going through. And yet I'm sitting here comparing myself to them when I don't even know what their lives are actually like. And that's insane that we all do this. I think another thing about insecurities and comparison is not just about like the qualities you have, but it's also about achievement. I always feel like I'm behind on my goals. I always feel like I should have achieved things earlier in my life. I always feel like I am not enough in that way. And I'm really hard on myself for it. Like, I am very hard on myself for it. I think about this a lot, and I used to be so much worse, where I would be like, I should have done this by this age. I should have gotten 100K on YouTube by the time I was like 3 years ago. Like, it is the most stupid critiquing you can possibly do, because you know what? All that's doing is making you live in the past and holding you back. And in reality, you have all the time in the world to accomplish what you want to accomplish, but you're wasting it by sitting there and thinking about what you could have done already. The time that you could use to build what you want now, you are using looking back and being hard on yourself for it. And that just makes no sense, because you are robbing yourself of happiness. You are robbing yourself of the opportunity to be the person you want to be, because you want to look back and bully the person from 3 years ago. It makes no sense. Even when I've achieved things that I am like so proud of now, I still feel like it's not enough, because I go online and I look at people my age, or I just see people who are doing the same thing as me, and I'm like, wow, but I could have been doing that. I could have been doing what they're achieving. And that's just not true, because your timeline is your timeline. You cannot compare your timeline to anybody else's, because yours is happening for a reason, and you have to remember that. Your timeline is made for you. You are made to experience things on a certain trajectory, and you are not meant to have anyone else's. And instead of looking at someone else's trajectory as a threat, like, oh my gosh, they did this at this age and I should have done this at this age, look at it as inspiration. If that person can do it, you can too. And there's nothing stopping you. You literally just have to take the leap to be like, I believe in myself, that I can do that too. And it's not just something that they can do, because anyone can do it. Anyone can do anything you put your mind to. And that's the thing that a lot of people miss out on by watching other people's lives. I also just wanted to talk about feeling like you're not good enough when it comes to how you look and your appearance, because, hold on, coffee break. Coffee break. This coffee is so watered down. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I really want to talk about feeling like you're not good enough looks wise, because I have been insanely hard on myself about this in the past few months. And it's crazy, because I've kind of mastered like comparing myself to other people with like achieving things, and comparing myself to my personality. I love my personality, and I've gained a lot of confidence just from placing my worth in my personality. But let's not ignore something that's huge in life, which is like your confidence sometimes can come from how you think you look, and it's not something that you can control. Like, I tell people all the time, get your confidence from things that actually matter about you: your heart, your brain, your personality, your sense of humor. Put your worth in those things and not how you look, because how you look is the least interesting thing about you. Yet, I still get insecure just from the way I look sometimes. And that's so normal. Lately, I've been struggling with feeling like my natural self just isn't enough. I feel like I have to do my hair constantly, do my makeup, put on a cute outfit, put on jewelry. If I don't do these things, I feel like I'm not worth being on camera or going outside of my house. And that is just insane. Like, I have acne scarring on my face currently from like the stress of my last breakup. And I feel like if I don't cover it up, I don't look good. Like, I have been so hard on myself for things that do not matter. What matters about me, I know, is my personality and what I bring to the table and my heart and everything. But when you're in a society that places so much value in looks, and like, it is hard to not be hard on yourself. It is hard to not pick out so many little things about yourself that you don't like, because we all do it. We all pick out all these little things and we're like, that, I look bad today. I don't look good enough. I can't go on this date. I can't go hang out with my friends. I don't want to film a video. I don't want to take pictures of myself because I don't think I look good enough. And that makes me so sad, because I think about a younger version of myself, and I would never pick out things about her and tell her that she's not good enough, and tell her that she shouldn't go make plans, or she shouldn't film a video, or she shouldn't take a picture of herself just because she has an acne scar, or just because she doesn't think she looks good that day. I would never say those things to a younger version of me. And so I think about an older version of me looking at me now. I would feel so sad that I was being hard on myself right now. And that's what you need to realize, is that nobody's thinking these things about you. It's you in your head telling yourself you don't look good enough. It's you in your head picking out all these little insecurities that you want to focus on, that chances are nobody's noticing because they're all busy focusing on their own insecurities. And it's just a crazy cycle. Your natural self is good enough. Your natural self is beautiful. You need to be comfortable in showing this version of yourself to the world, because that is the real you. Makeup, doing your hair, getting hair extensions, dyeing your hair, getting your nails done, all of that is fake. And yet we make it seem like it's the normal thing to look like all the time, which is insane. Every girl on the internet, for the most part, shows themselves being completely done up. And you're sitting there comparing yourself to them when none of it is usually natural. It makes me so sad that there are so many boxes that we have to check as girls to feel okay about ourselves. Did you get your nails done? Did you do your makeup today? Did you do your hair today? Oh, your hair is natural today. It looks a little messy. There are just so many comments that we get from other people and in our own heads that make us feel like we're not good enough. But in reality, all of the boxes we have to check are not our natural selves. So why should we feel like our natural selves aren't good enough? Something that I've done to help this is follow people who show the real them. People who aren't afraid to post with no makeup on, to post when they're not looking their best, to post real things, real content. And that's a huge thing, because the content that you consume every day really affects your brain. So when I follow influencers who are real about their scarring and no makeup and when they actually don't look good and their bad days and their good days, that makes me feel so much more human. So take a look at who you're following, and that is really important to how you feel about yourself. I promise you, if you follow more real people, you will start to feel better about yourself. And that's why I always try to show you guys when I'm not feeling great. Try to talk about my insecurities on the internet, because so many people don't, and they act like they don't exist. And that is just crazy. I just wanted to tell you that your natural self is good enough. Your natural hair, you with no makeup on, you in sweats, you with whatever cellulite, scarring, whatever insecurities that you have, you were taught to feel insecure about all of those things. Your natural self is beautiful. The beauty standard changes every freaking decade, and there are always different versions of what is considered beautiful in society. You will never match what is considered beautiful permanently. Society is always going to tell you that you're not good enough. It's always going to be a new image of what's perfect and what is valued and what's considered beautiful. It is always changing. So if you try to live up to that, you are never going to be happy. You need to decide today that you as you are is beautiful, and you don't need to change, and you don't need to fit any standard. Going to see the Barbie movie actually was so insane, because it's just, if you haven't seen it, literally go see it. It just changed. It just really solidified my mindset that you're never going to feel like you're good enough, because people want you to feel insecure. Society wants you to feel insecure. It wants you to beat yourself up. It wants you to not get anywhere because you're being too hard on yourself. But if you feel insecure and you let all of the narrative that you're told that you're not good enough win, then you're just feeding into a system that's setting you up for failure. You can't let it win. You have to tell yourself that you're beautiful no matter what. You have to have your own values of yourself. You have to look at yourself, and even if you're not feeling it, tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself that you're funny. Tell yourself that you're smart. Tell yourself that you're capable, because society doesn't want you to feel that way. It doesn't want you to. When you're a girl, it is almost impossible to feel perfect, because you're constantly told things that are contradictory. When you're a girl, you constantly have people in your ear telling you that you're not good enough, telling you that you lost too much weight, that you gained too much weight, that you look tired, that you're wearing too much makeup, that you're prude, that you get around too much. You're told that girls aren't funny, but then if you try to act like everyone else, you're told that girls have no personality. It just feels impossible to please everybody, because it is. And as a result, we sit here and beat ourselves up, feeling like we're not good enough and we can never be good enough. And we constantly work on ourselves like we're some project that is never finished. And we end up not seeing our worth. And then there's girls who look at us and compare ourselves to us thinking, I wish I was like her. And we're looking at the next girl thinking the same thing. I want you to break this cycle. I want you to realize that you are good enough the way that you are, even if there's everybody in your ear telling you that you're not, even if your mind is telling you that you're not. Don't let that feeling win, because you're just going to hold yourself back from being happy, from being successful, from being everything that you want to be. Because you're letting the insecurities you were taught take over who you are. And you are not your insecurities. You are not your dark thoughts. You are you. And whether you see it or not, you have value. And I just really want you guys to see that. I just really want you to feel empowered and feel like you have so many strengths to offer this world, and feel like every person that is your friend or every person that you date is getting a gift because you are a gift. I want you to feel love for yourself, like actual genuine love. And it takes a while to get there, and it's going to come and go, and it's not always going to be there. But I don't want you to sit there and compare yourself to other people when you don't know their whole stories, when you don't know what they're going through, and you don't know what they look at you and wish they had. So that's all I really want to say on this topic. Stop looking at yourself as a work in progress that just constantly needs things to be fixed. You are enough the way you are. You deserve love the way you are. And I want you to really, really feel that. Like, actually. And it's not always going to be there. Let's be real. Let's BFFR. It's not always going to be there. You're not always going to love yourself. You're not always going to feel like valued and loved and have all this acceptance of yourself. It's not realistic. But as long as you are conscious of the fact that you can be the meanest person to yourself, and you have the power to work on that and flip your perspective to be a lot more positive and a lot more loving towards yourself, that is all you need. And that's all I wanted to say on this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed this pod. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. I love you guys so freaking much. And I don't know. I just really, really, really am happy that we are talking about this today, because it's crazy how every day you can be so hard on yourself and no one knows about it. No one knows about it. You keep it to yourself. And I know that there's probably a million of you out there who are going through something like this. So I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone, and this is a real thing. Like, don't be hard on yourself being like, I wish I was just already better. Everyone's so happy. Everyone has this love for themselves, because everyone is honestly struggling with the same thing. So I want to keep it real with you guys always. I want to tell you that I'm struggling with this and I'm working on it. Like, I'm the person here. I'm the person sitting here giving you the advice, and I'm also struggling with this. Like, everybody is working on it. And I just want you to know that you're not alone in this, and you have so much worth and so much value that if you just took the time to realize and appreciate and be proud of yourself for everything you've accomplished already, you would feel a lot better. I love you guys. I want you to be proud of yourselves and love yourselves. And I hope this helps. If you've been hard on yourself lately, let me know what you guys want to talk about next on the pod. Submit some topics, comment, tell me what you guys are struggling with, what you want to talk about. If this was helpful, I really, really hope it was. I love you guys so much. I feel like I went into like preachy mode today. I don't even know. Something just took over me. I didn't even stop to like make stupid jokes a lot this time, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, I love you guys so much. You guys are my whole heart. And I'm really happy we have this little safe space where we can just talk. And I hope that these podcast episodes help your day a little bit. And yeah, I love you. I hope you have the best day ever. I hope you feel pretty today. I hope you love yourself today. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Mwah!